Well guys, we have some more work to do at the mobile home today. We're going to continue on the bathroom, try to get the toilet installed, the sink installed, finish up some trim work. Speaking of which, the other day I came over here and I installed the ceiling battens. So the battens are done. They have to be painted, but I got them installed and I caulked all the cracks, all the edges around the room, so it looks a lot more finished in here. You can see how this is going to fit right into that batten right there. But of course, we have the paint still. I'll take that right down out of the way for now. The sink is pretty easy, so let's start with that. I don't have any silicone, but this will work. Come on, got a clog here. I'm gonna center it up. When that sealant dries under there, it'll hold the sink firm so it doesn't slide around. Now let's get the drain going. So the drain I picked is just a strainer drain. We really like these because we find like pop-up drains, we don't use them. I don't know why you would fill the sink with water. Maybe you guys do. We don't. And they're just like kind of cruddy and nasty, but these just let the water drain. You don't have to worry about losing anything down the drain. So that's why I bought this. This is my favorite one by Kohler. I use this all the time, but it's very small. It's almost too small for that sink opening, but it should work. Now I wanted to put some PTFE tape on here because it really helps, and I'll talk about that later, but I forgot to bring it with me. So let's put the drain aside for the time being, and maybe I'll just work on the faucet. As you can see, we are going with some black hardware. I really like that they gave a plug for the back of that because we're not using the pop-up drain. Faucet's a little bit smaller than I'd like. I should have upsized that. I was worried about this part. A lot of the bigger faucets get taller and I don't like it too close to the mirror. But we'll see how it goes. While we're here, let's try to tackle the toilet. So we'll take these caps out. Now this is the toilet right here. And I've installed a few wall mount toilets, but I've never installed one with concealed hidden bolts. So let me just go ahead and see how this works. So I'm gonna get our threaded rods in here. It says these have to be 55 millimeters. Now before I get any further on that, let's open up the drain and water line because we have to get these cut to length. That almost marks. So basically I'm putting this in as far as it goes. I'm making a mark on it. And then I'm going to put it in the toilet. Let me get the gasket on it. And again, we're going to mark it. And while it seems like a lot, that measurement is basically what we have to cut off of this. So I can measure the distance from this line to that line. This is how far it goes into the carrier. This is how far it goes into the toilet. We need to remove all that in between space. So we'll measure that and we'll cut it off the end. So that, like that. And then we'll be left with enough to push in here. That's the water inlet. And then there'll be enough sticking out to go into the wall, into the carrier. Does that make sense? I did the same thing with the drain that I did with the water line. We put it on the wall, measured how far it goes in the wall, well, this side. And then we put it in the toilet, measure how far it goes in the toilet. And then we're gonna cut the leftover off the end. It makes a lot of sense if you think about it. So basically, we're just figuring out how much extra pipe there is, and that's how much we gotta cut off each of these. So I'm gonna bring these out and cut those. And then I think we're ready for the install. I'm going to put the gaskets back into these. I had taken the gaskets out because it's easier to put the pipe in to get the measurement feel that you need. I'm going to prep the drain piece by putting this gasket on it. It's a bit of a stretch. There it is. Let's lube this up. Just want to make sure it's going to go in cleanly. There it is. We are ready to go. Everything's lubed, both sides, toilet and drains. Now, let me get this set to the right depth, right there. Those are the right depth. Let's get this trim out of the way. We'll make sure the toilet isn't going to hit it. Where do you grab on a roomless? I don't feel like I can screw these in very far. I'm wondering if they're not sticking out from the wall far enough.
Take it off and put a little bit more out.
Pushing the rubber on and off, but let me see if I can get them so they... I feel like they're barely grabbing. You know what? I don't even think... They must be way off on their instructions because I don't even think I'm going in the dip. They are.
They say to do 55, that's not right.
What they're saying to do is definitely not right. Let me try that. Okay, you know what? I know what I have to do now. That's still not enough.
Why were their measurements so off?
I need to go away. It was 55 and then we'd have to look at the way they wrote it. Doesn't really make sense. Okay, ready? I probably could have put it in a little further even. Oops. 10th time's the charm. Let's do it one more time.
You're taking it off again?
Yep.
Oh, I thought you had to pull it out of the wall more.
No.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So let's see. We're getting there. I'm gonna try that. Hopefully this time works. Because I don't want to take this in and out too many times. I don't want to ruin these gaskets.
So they show the 55 coming out of the wall. And then they show that silver thing that goes on the threads.
Yeah.
And then it shows you have to leave 30 millimeters of thread.
Yeah.
So that's all wrong.
That's all wrong.
Wow.
Do we have a level? Find that little yellow level. Oh, it's right next to me. I think I finally got it because it's actually drawing it to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
I had to put it in a lot, like a lot.
Maybe these instructions don't go with this toilet. Maybe it's a different one.
Well, they should figure that out.
Yeah.
I am sweating. I don't know how tight to make these. I'm kind of paranoid. But look it.
They say sit on it and test it.
Man, that was hard.
Installation completed. Please be seated to check the stability.
Okay. I don't have a seat on it though. Feels solid.
Looks stable.
Well, it's a good thing I know what I'm doing because they sure don't.
Yep.
This is the problem. We see so many products come with bad instructions that are wrong. And if you're not paying attention, you could have a disaster on your hands.
Yeah.
This might have felt tight, but it was up on the top of the sleeve, not in the dip. And it could have popped right off the wall. And
It's like the dog gate we did. The measurements they wanted you to drill for were way off.
that they told were definitely right.
Yeah.
And now for the final step, installing, well no, this isn't the final step. This is the next step. Installing the toilet seat. I'm only nervous about this part because a lot of toilets come with lousy toilet seats and a comfortable seat is important to us. I hope they gave us a good one because these very special wall hung toilets are very hard to find seats for. First of all, the holes are farther apart than standard toilet seats. So you can't just go to the store and throw a seat on here. Not going to work. Also, the bowl shapes are almost always specific to each specific toilet. That's the downside of a wall mount toilet, is toilet seats are incredibly hard to find. The instructions. What? The toilet seat just fell apart when I was lifting it up. Ah, that's a good start, right?
Yeah.
Let me just get these lined up. So right now the toilet seat is not lined up at all. So let me try to figure out where this is supposed to be.
This seems picky.
Really picky. Maybe they gotta go forward. I don't know how much to tighten these. They feel like they can just go forever. I'll just get out of line. Now I'm just curious to see if that trim does fit under the toilet. Well, definitely not the base cap won't fit, but that one will. So there is the toilet. And now we need a flush plate.
Did you bring that in?
No. So the flush plate, you start with this piece right here. That's the easy part. Put it in, turn it, and lock it. And now there's a couple more pieces that we have to fit. These will also need to be broke. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I can get on there. There it is. Toilet done. So we just finished installing our wall hung toilet, and it doesn't even look like a wall hung toilet because it's practically touching the floor. But that's okay, because it saves space. That's one of the features of this. There's no tank behind you. The tank is in the wall, and it looks pretty nice. And it is still better than touching the floor because you can clean under the toilet even if it is pretty skinny down there.
And you don't have to cut a hole into your floor.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about water leaks rotting your floor out. So good, I'm happy. The install is complete. I wish I could try it, but we don't have water hooked up to the home yet. Once we get the water hooked up to the home, I'm going to pop this off. We're going to access the shutoff valve, which is behind here, and we will turn on the water and we'll flush it out and we'll make sure everything's clean. But this is done for now. So I like to run a little bit of tape right around where the rubber gasket's going to be, because I find that sometimes these are just hard to stop from leaking. Let's get some plumber's putty. Ooh, some old putty. Feels a little bit soft. I'll go ahead and load this on here. There's something wrong with this putty. And a little last job to do to finish this up. We custom cut the base cap. It should fit. We got some wet paint on there, so I'm going to try to fit it in carefully. And by carefully, I mean rub it on the bottom of the toilet. Right. All right. Installation finished. Bathroom is looking good. Sink drain is installed and cleaned up. And with that, we accomplished our goals for today, so I'm going to call it quits. Everything's looking awesome. And the bathroom's almost done. Couple more jobs to do. I'm going to go home, work on the window trim, and we'll come back later to paint, and we can call this room finished. Can't wait to get the water hooked up underneath. That's a whole nother job in itself because we have a lot of work to do under there and out to the well. So another day. At least we're making progress. So thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.
Bye.